Hey guys, welcome back to Valken Debrief, episode number 15. Myself, Kaiju, and Valken Actual.
Back fresh from World Cup.
He turned into a paintballer.
I speak paintball.
He speaks paintball now. So, thank you for joining us. We have some very special guests today from up in Canada. From the team Direwolves, one of our Valken Alliance sponsored teams, we have Bacon and Sidewaze. Guys, can you hear us?
Sideways wrapped bacon.
All right. And just make sure you speak up a little bit more, guys, okay?
No, we're going to that team.
Okay, so events this weekend before we get into our topics. So this weekend on the 11th, we have Raptors Airsoft at Iron Sight Airsoft in Lake Charles, Louisiana for Operation Colony. They're down there helping Big Silva help run the event down there.
So there'll be like staff. They'll be staffing.
Yes, they'll be doing staff and stuff like that. And then on the 12th, Bobby Wolves is going to be at Ultimate Battle Zone in Atlantic City, New Jersey for their opening of their new indoor CQB arena. So if you're out there, Bobby has some swag to give out, so be sure to hit him up, and he'll have some free stuff to hand out to you guys. So also, Bacon and Sidewaze, you guys are doing something this weekend as well, right?
I'm going to be at training with the Blackline Simulations Group, getting ready for Exercise Civic Burden next week. We're going to be doing CQB this weekend.
And where is that?
That's going to be at Northern Simulated Training Systems in Georgetown.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So, guys, if you're just joining us, episode 15, Colorado Ranch, we're about to start interviewing Bacon and Sidewaze from Direwolves Airsoft Team. So, please be sure to help us out. Hit the share button down below. Hit the like. You can heart that button like crazy if you like. But please share. If you've got any questions for Bacon or Sidewaze, please post them up below. We'll be happy to answer those questions. Because today we're going to be talking about how they came about in Airsoft. And we're going to be talking about Airsoft teams. You know, how to put it together, how to organize it, you know, have a good one. So you don't break up and split up the fam. So,
those team reunions.
Oh, so Laser Viper is asking what those big red Cheerios are on your shirts. I'm just reading it, man.
These are poppies. They're for Remembrance Day, which is the Canadian, well, really Commonwealth equivalent of your Veterans Day and Memorial Day. We celebrate that on the 11th of this month.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. That's cool. So we got a lot of folks joining us. Jonathan Rollins, Matt Palmer, Ryan Brown, one of our dedicated dudes from Cross Tactical Airsoft in Nashville. And, okay, I think looking at old comments, I believe we do have audio and everyone can hear us, so we're good to go. All right. Oh, so Bacon, little warm-up question from, whoa, the questions are coming in fast. Bacon, what's your favorite bacon?
Haha.
Maple.
Maple bacon.
Like thick cut or like,
Yeah.
Awesome.
To be fair, any bacon is my favorite bacon.
Any bacon.
Yeah, just as much of it as possible.
With more on top of it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. Then I want you to give me all of your bacon.
All right. So we're going to start with Sidewaze. And Bacon, you get a chance to think about this. Sidewaze, what got you into Airsoft?
Good question. I actually was at a flea market and saw a booth that had a bunch of airsoft guns and went and checked it out and pretty much got hooked after that. Bought my first pistol, went to my first indoor skirmish game, and yeah, I was hooked.
So was it like a Springer or a gas blowback? Like
It was a gas blowback pistol, yeah. Had the clear soft bottom, but
back in the day.
Somewhere, right?
And
Yeah.
same question for you, Bacon.
Well, years ago, back in the 90s, I was a paintball player. I did that for about 10 years, and then I kind of left that, and I got into martial arts, and I was really into grappling, like judo and jiu-jitsu and shoot wrestling, that kind of stuff. And because I was kind of a maniac, I developed a lot of injuries, which eventually made it hard for me to practice that. I've always been interested in guns, so when I couldn't do martial arts anymore, I missed that feeling of fighting and the feeling of training on a skill set. So that kind of brought me into airsoft, and that has kind of filled that void in my life, if you will.
Oh, that's awesome. Ryan Brown, you need this shirt. It's awesome. I know. Just go over to the website, Valken.com.
Valken.com. And you can get these cool hoodies. We have a whole bunch of new stuff this year that we unveiled at World Cup. So be sure and check all that fun apparel out.
So for Bacon and Sidewaze, how did you guys meet? Was it because of the team, or did you meet before the team happened? Tell us a little about that.
Well, I happened to be on Facebook one day, and I noticed the Direwolves Airsoft Team had posted some stuff, and started following that. I liked what they were doing about training and CQB, and I just messaged one day saying, hey, this sounds really cool. I'd like to be a part of it. And Bacon messaged me back, and we started talking, and we went from there.
Yep. You got badged in on the first day?
Yeah, I did. I can honestly say that, and take pride in that. First and only member to be badged in same day I tried out.
And how long ago was that?
4 years?
4 years now?
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're the third longest serving member now.
It's like longer than most relationships.
I know, right? I know. What do you guys, Nicholas asks, what do you guys like the most about airsoft?
Personally, I like meeting new people. I like, having fun with them and interacting and chatting with them and getting to know them, because, this sport is huge. The community is huge. And, you can meet some really amazing people that could turn into lifelong friends. So, yeah, for me, it's all about that. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool. Matt Palmer is asking a question, which I think is pretty cool. It's more for our second topic, but the comments are going to scroll and I'm going to miss it. So I'm going to go ahead and ask now what would be your advice on starting an airsoft team when you don't have any local places to play where you live?
Be prepared to travel.
Yeah.
To travel.
Be prepared to travel.
Or buy your own place and turn it into one.
If you're going to start a team and there's no field nearby, you're going to have to find a group of other players that have enough interest in it that they'll travel with you to wherever the fields are, right?
What about private land? I know here in Colorado, I started on National Forest. We were able to play on National Forest, and that was a lot of fun. Do you have anything like that up there? Can you play in National Forest? What are the equivalent?
Well, everything that's not owned by somebody is considered crown land. You could go out there, but you run the risk of hunters or just people out there, ATVs or snowmobiling or whatever the case, and they see a bunch of guys out there with guns. They'll call the cops.
Yeah, gun laws are different in Canada too, so you don't really want to be outside of the regular fields with airsoft guns, because the police will react negatively to that.
Very negatively.
Gotcha.
That's why we have orange tips.
Orange tips. I know you guys don't like orange tips, do you?
Like I said, orange tip, not apply.
Man. Hey, Sidewaze.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Sector 7 Milsim?
That's one of the teams that I follow on Instagram. Good group, from what I can tell. I don't know them all personally, but pretty cool bunch.
Oh, cool. Well, they're just commenting in the section below, so they're just doing a little shout out for them up there. So, yes. So, in regards to the airsoft team, what have been some challenges over the years that you remember?
Well, there's been a fair bit of them. Mostly for us was growing pains. We started off as a group of friends. We were introduced to the sport by a guy named Chris Carangis, who runs Witch Doctor Tactical. He's a gun doc up here.
What's up, CJ?
And as we started to kind of evolve, it started off originally as like just kind of pickup games. We had just groups of guys who wanted to play together, and then Chris brought me out to my first real game, Operation Dragonfly, at PRZ, and it was amazing. And after that, my focus became like going to more of those kind of games. As the team started to progress, we started to specialize in CQB. We started to develop a culture where we train a lot, and that wasn't everybody's kettle of fish, if you will. So we've had guys, that kind of have dropped off on the way and gone off on other things or whatever. And there was always, the pressure of, is this the route we want to take, or do we want to do a different route, or what exactly we want to do? And it took probably the first 3 years or so of the team's existence to kind of find what we wanted to do. And then even in the last year, it's become more specialized, going to TTAC C3 here in Toronto. There's a lot of CQB standard games that are more complex than just shoot 'em ups. They're games where you have to, there's role playing involved to some degree. You have to think about what you're doing, and the correct answer isn't always to start shooting somebody. Sometimes it requires a different approach. So I'd say over the last 7 or 8 months, that's focused our training, and what we're interested in playing is that kind of stuff. So it's been a growing process for us.
Yeah, like we didn't know where we were going to go with it, or how far we were going to go with it, or whatnot. But now it's more, we have a direction, and we're all enjoying it so far. So yeah.
What's the smallest number of members you've had, and the largest number of members that you've had?
Smallest, I guess, is when we started. There was 5 of you?
Probably 4 or 5 of us to begin with, and I think at the height we had 25 people, which is not easily manageable, if you will.
To say the least.
I think we have 14 active people right now on the list.
Something about right.
Yeah, we've never had everybody in the same place at the same time. It's like here's a good core group of guys that are out consistently, and then because people have lives outside of this, it's whoever can make it the difference who shows up, right?
Yeah. We've got, I guess some of your friends are on here. Amanda from
Cartel.
Canadian Cartel gives a shout out to you guys.
Okay, so what's up?
We play with them a lot.
Yep. Awesome group of people. Love them. So they actually came down this year to Conflicts 3.
Yep.
They had so much fun meeting everybody and all our friends down there that they already planning to come to Conflicts 4 next year. So
nice.
Yep.
I'm thinking there's a story behind this one.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys know a Scalper DW43?
Never heard of him.
No,
never heard of him.
Never
heard of him. No.
Imposter.
He's asking what made you guys decide to make him a member.
So Nick is Scalper, and we met him at Conflicts 3. Two. Sorry, 2.
No.
My bad. Sorry, 2.
So you met another Canadian at in a U.S. based event?
It's a local down there.
Yeah, he lives down there.
He lives down there in India.
Oh wait,
so he's part of the U.S. chapter.
Yeah, he is the U.S.
He is
chapter.
the U.S. chapter.
He is the U.S. chapter. You've only one.
Wait, but is he American or is he Canadian expat?
That little picture you see right up there, made by him and his mom for me. Bacon got one as well. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Supported all of us like all the time, consistently, and just nothing but good things to say. And
he always wanted to have a Direwolf patch, and we don't give the actual patches out to really anyone other than team members. So we decided we would make him a team member when we were down at Conflicts 4.
Oh, awesome.
Sorry.
He's a card carrying member.
So here's the question, because some teams do this and some teams don't. So what are your feelings on dues, like monthly dues or annual dues and stuff like that?
We've talked about doing them. We've never gone that route. Everything gets paid for as we go type thing. So
okay, so each member pays for stuff out of pocket.
yeah.
But do you have like a uniform, gear, weapons requirements?
We've actually got 3 loadouts.
Yeah, so we have green, black, and tan loadouts that are specific to the team. There's requirements in terms of gear color. Everyone has to have a primary gun that will feed M4 AEG mags. Everyone has to have a secondary that will feed either TM or WE Glock mags. And then we've sort of made the MP7 gas blowback rifle as an alternate, but in order to run that at an actual event, everybody has to have it.
So you can't have any special ones. They're like, no, this is what I'm going to use. I don't want to use that, guys.
And they run LM4s, but they all have to be running LM4s at an event to run them. Otherwise, they're back to the AEG standard.
Aha.
Gotcha.
Do you have gas blowback only events?
Not yet, but we were talking about some.
We're kind of moving that way because we're moving more into real cap, and that's where the MP7s and the LM4s are coming more into play.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, after being, the team for what, 4 years?
5 years now.
5 years now.
I'm 4.
Yeah.
Oh, you're 4. Where do you see yourself 4 or 5 years from now as a team?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll still be going.
Yeah.
We'd like to see the Direwolves continue, even past the point where, senior guys, older guys that maybe aren't playing anymore. I'd like the team to continue. We'll probably still be doing much the same sort of thing, training, getting together. We'd like to be traveling more. We'd certainly want to hit the big events in the States. I'd like to do AMS. I'd like to do Milton West. I have problems with my knees, so I'm not up to that kind of event yet, but I'm hoping I will be in the future.
Yeah, I just want to do it all.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Warren from Milton West, he's watching right now. He joined earlier on.
It looks like
Josh.
a really, really awesome event. I would be a casualty partway through that at this point. So.
No, we have
Cool.
nothing like up here, and don't get me wrong. There's been some very cool events run up here and everything, but it's not on the scale that it is down there with you guys, and the UK, like Border Wars and stuff like that, or of course the game over in Russia.
The tank game.
The tank game. Armor Wars.
Awesome.
Armor.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Don't forget Brigitte.
Berget. Into Sweden. So, if you're just joining us, thank you. It's Valken Debrief, episode 15 here at the beautiful Colorado Ranch with Valken Actual, myself, Kaiju, and we're talking and interviewing today the Direwolves Airsoft Team, team leader Bacon and Sidewaze, one of his right-hand men down there. And really quickly, so please do us a favor, like and share this post so other people can come and join in the conversation. And tomorrow, I'm going to make a post. We're going to be giving away a beanie.
I'll do the Vanna White.
You'll do the Vanna White. So Valken Alliance beanie and patch. So if you're wondering about the Valken Alliance,
You have to still sign up, though.
yes, you have to sign up. ValkenAlliance.com for our member program. It is free. So once you sign up, I get a lovely email inbox.
You get a personal invitation from the Kaiju himself.
Yes. So I'll be posting up tomorrow on our Facebook page and Instagram pages for somebody to win a Valken Alliance beanie and patch. So as we are moving on, so talking about airsoft teams with Bacon and Sidewaze. So if you could give advice to some young players or just players that aren't a team, what would be like the number one thing you would tell them if they wanted advice on forming a team?
Try to find like-minded players that want to do the same thing that you want to do, and then it's persistence and patience, right? You want to constantly work at bringing the team together, building the culture of the team, training, going to events, getting your gear together, that kind of stuff. So it's a growing process, and
It takes time, and you have to have patience.
and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I get the question about being a team captain a lot. Everyone wants to be a team captain, and that's a huge amount of work as a team grows in size. And then if you get to the point where you have sponsorships, and we have a number of them, those are a lot of work. And you have to constantly put effort into them. You have to constantly deal with some of the issues that surround them and stuff. So it's
there's going to be
prepared to work, right?
There's going to be positives and negatives, and you have to be able to, take all of that. Like it's not always going to be, a perfect day and guns a blazing. There's a lot of headaches that have happened and whatnot, and you just have to be prepared and accept that that's part of what you want to do in this sport or how far you want to go.
So you mentioned you had a couple sponsors. I imagine the sponsorships are different. And someone asked in a comment earlier if you guys could clarify, sponsorships, because I'm sure because you have different sponsors, each one is probably unique in how they sponsor you.
Yeah, they're all different. Generally speaking, they start off more or less the same, where you get a discount from somebody, and sometimes you get swag and stuff like
patches,
that.
Whatever.
And then they develop based on your performance. And one of the things when I talk to other players and kids and stuff about sponsorship, nothing is free; everything is earned. Mm-hmm. So they mature based on how much effort you put into representing your sponsor. That's what it's about, right? Companies don't sponsor out of the goodness of their heart to give away free product. They sponsor so that you can promote their product for them. The better job you do with that, the more stuff you tend to get. But it's work. You've got to make sure that you're getting enough social media. And it's, our primary social media right now is Instagram. It's not that those pictures just happen. You've got to work into your practices or games how you're going to get those and constantly work at it. You have to figure out how you're going to represent the companies. You have to do stuff like write blog posts, do YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff. So it's a process. Some of our sponsors send us limited amounts of free gear.
Yep.
And again, it's not really free. It's based on the work that you put into it. Some of them are just discounts at this point. It all depends on the situation.
Gotcha. If you had any Instagram tips, to make, myself and Valken Actual a little more Instagram savvy, what would you tell us about Instagram?
Instagram there's a few different things. It's about posting good content continuously. You have to look at it.
The right time is important as well. Like you want to know, based on where you live, because time zones are always different. But you want to start it, in that morning where block of time of like 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. Just because people go to work, go to school, they're all on their phones, social media. So you've got a very high amount of people logged in, and the same goes in the afternoon, evening. 4 in the afternoon till 6. It took us a while. We managed to figure out what worked, at least for us, and yeah, we find those are the highest volume times anyway.
Yeah, and then you have to deal with engagement. 3 years ago, Instagram, just when you signed on, it just shows you whatever the most recent post from someone you followed was, and it just went down. Now what it does is it tries to figure out what post you want to see, and then vice versa. It tries to figure out who wants to see your post. So the engagement rate has changed radically. So you got to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how that works and learn it, and then
we're still learning
use it correctly type thing. So
yeah, because ever since Facebook bought Instagram, that's where it all changed, and it wasn't as easy as it was before.
I got a question for you, Josh. How many organized teams have you been a member of?
In Airsoft, just the Direwolves for me.
No, just, I'm asking Valken Actual.
Oh.
I've been on 2.
Like 6.
6, wow.
It was kind of
This guy is old. He's been playing Airsoft since he was like 2. Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of like the running joke in Colorado for a while. I was like, is there a team you hadn't been on? Because I try and, I did the shopping around, and, I wouldn't just hop on and be like, oh, yeah, probational member. I'd go through and I'd hang in there and stick with it. But if it wasn't what I was looking for, then, I'd move on. And, that went over not so well all the time. But it, and I just finally kind of started my own with, a couple of like-minded individuals, as you'd said, it's really important to find the like-minded individuals. And one of the things that I saw that really worked with unit cohesion and just friendships was having a standard that everyone was held to. I see a lot of teams that fall apart because, the upper echelon or the leader or something wouldn't do what, the regular guys are doing and would hold them to a different standard, or only some of them would get the benefits. You try and work in the benefits so that everybody who's contributing would benefit equally. And that was the format that I saw that worked the best. And that was the team I was with the longest. And I'm still really good friends with a lot of those guys. We've gone our separate ways, in life, and just relocating to different parts of the country. But yeah, no, I've been part of quite a few.
That's awesome. If you're just joining us, episode 15, we are live here in the Colorado Ranch talking with Bacon and Sidewaze from our sponsor team up in Canada, the Direwolves Airsoft Team. And Woodcock, you guys know Woodcock, he asks, do you have a process to bring on new teammates to ensure they fit in with the other current members?
Yeah.
Hazing.
Hazing.
Let's tweak that process too.
Yeah, so for us is a 6-month probation period. And there's a few things you have to do. The first thing is you have to have your green and black loadout complete and your team compliant guns before you can come off probation. But the bigger thing is, there's 2 big things. One is commitment. So if you're trying out, you need to be showing up for pretty much everything. So if you have a practice or game, you need to be there for that. If you do stuff like tell me you're going to be at a practice and then not show up, that's like your first strike. I don't have any patience for that. Like,
nope.
If you tell me you're going to be someplace, you got to be there. If you tell me, hey, I can't make it because of X, I can understand that. But telling me you're going to be there and not showing is not acceptable. And the bigger thing is,
you don't want flakes.
What's
flakes
that?
And snowflakes. Any flakes.
Yeah,
cornflakes, snowflakes.
Get enough snowflakes in the wintertime, okay? We don't need them on the team.
And the bigger thing is, I call it the 6-hour drive test. Is do I want to sit in a car with this person for 6 hours as we drive to an event someplace? And if the answer is no, then they're not going to make the team. If the answer is yes, probably a good chance they'll be on the team.
Bad
because
jokes, bad body odor. I mean,
There's not even like more of a family unit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all of my teammates are my extended family, and you know, we like to have a cohesion like that where, you know, we can go to each other if we've just got personal problems. It doesn't have to be airsoft related, and be like, hey, you got a minute? I need to talk. And we're all willing to help everybody.
Yeah.
So we want people that are
going to fit into that.
Got to fit into that. Yeah.
so is there like one guy in the group that has a truck that everyone hits up when they got to move?
A couple guys got the truck.
Yeah, we've done it a couple times. So
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah. Hey, man.
Hey, family, I'm moving. Come help me.
So it's more about just playing airsoft. So what would be for you guys the top 2 or 3 things, the top 2 or 3 purposes for an airsoft team other than just playing pew-pew?
Well, friendship is a big part of it.
Yep.
That's a big part of airsoft in general, like you said, meeting people, right?
Yep.
That having the support, having guys to work together, because like I said, we train a lot. Like we spend at least 50% of our time training, so you can't do that as a solo player. You need a group of guys that are committed to that kind of thing, right? And just the camaraderie of it, having a group of you know, like family, really close friends, brothers that you're going to do things with.
Yep.
Wow, you know what they did not mention? Get sponsored.
If you're in it just to get sponsored,
Sponsored,
ain't gonna happen, and it ain't gonna fly.
You know, that happened kind of by accident for us. We were doing social media to try to get our name out to attract more members, and because I was off and I was bored and I needed something to do, and it kind of dawned us at some point that we were getting traction, you know, on Instagram, and maybe we'd get a few sponsors, and it kind of grew from there, right?
Yep.
But it certainly wasn't the initial intent.
No.
So
it's a whole different ball game if you have a group of guys, friends and whatever, and you're forming a team, and you just want to go and play. You can still do all the same type of training and everything like that. When you want to think about, you know, getting sponsored, and again, that's a whole different ball game now. And
it's like 2 separate channels. There's the airsoft part of it, which is the playing and training and that, and then there's the sponsorship part, which is dealing with the social media and what the sponsors need and representing people. They're 2 separate things, and you have to put almost equal time on both of them.
So, you know, in closing, because we're wrapping up here, and you know, daylight savings time is a lot darker, and the commute gets a little scary going home. I've been listening to the Guns, Gear, and Beer podcast.
Oh, Derek, yeah.
Derek, and I started at the beginning, And it's really cool to listen to a lot of the guys in the firearms industry talk about the evolution of SHOT Show, the evolution of YouTube, content generators, Instagram and stuff. And, the difference between SHOT Show 7 years ago versus now. And I think that a lot of it applies to airsoft and sponsorships, reviewing and getting equipment and stuff. And one of the gentlemen on there said, I think he works at Knight's Armament, and he said you'll get a lot farther in the industry you're working in when you are valuable, like you are working hard, generating content. It's not your sole focus, and you're not entitled, but you get a lot further with relationships. I think too many people and players pursue stuff, and relationships are more important. And then, you have those relationships and you've built these bridges. And something that's, worked very well for me is with a relationship would be like, hey, I would like to buy this. And, you offer to buy it. And you say like, I really like this. I want to try this out. Two things happen when you do that. One, they'll usually hook you up with a pretty good deal. You walk away with something that you might normally never be able to buy because it's out, the wife's looking at the bank account. It's like, what is this? And secondly, it allows you to give a more honest and unbiased review of the gear because you bought it. So you're not under pressure to, dress it up and butter up the review. And then if you practice and apply that more, I think if more teams did that and applied that, they would in turn get more stuff, and then they would have a reputation and a rapport of being honest and somebody who is legitimate. So, that's my 2 cents on trying to.
Someone asked what the best part of being sponsored was, and my answer is it's the relationships that are developed about it. It's not whatever you get. The example would be Valken. The reason I know you, Josh, is because of Valken. And the reason I know Bob Kaiju is because I became friends with Ian Tennant, call sign Ironman, another Valken sponsored player who introduced me to other people, and that's how I ended up meeting Kaiju. Were it not for the sponsorships, there's a lot of people that I would have never met that have become really good friends, right? Yep. For me, that's far more valuable than anything we've received, in terms of gear or equipment or whatever from them.
Yeah. And through Bob, I met Mark. He's like my brother from another mother, and I got myself like a world class tour of Hong Kong when I was over there and got someone to hang out with. So it's all about the relationships and not about getting the stuff or getting like the end. Like I still don't get invited to cool guy parties at SHOT Show, but one day. But I still haven't gone to a cry party.
So
and I was actually having a very good conversation with from Aaron from Tap Airsoft.
Good dude.
And,
smart.
We were having a very good conversation, and I admitted to him that one of the reasons why I approached Tap, you had actually brought them to light, brought their attention to me. And what is great is if you're out there, you shouldn't be looking for sponsorship. You should be focusing on your craft, playing as a team, promoting the community, and taking care of each other. Absolutely. And use products that make sense for you, and the ones that you love, promote them. It's, hey, will you sponsor me? Oh, how many Valken products do you use? Well, I haven't yet, and I thought this would be a good opportunity. No, that's not the answer. That's not a good way to start.
That's not a good impression. That's not
right.
A good impression.
So you got.
Hey, can I get a free gun?
Oh,
can I get a free gun?
Can I get a pretty gun? So you got teams like you got Tap and Direwolves and Raptors that love playing the sport. Sponsorship is like the last thing on their mind. They love the brands of products that they use, and they're passionate, and they've never asked for a dime. Those are the strongest people you could hold on to and work with, because they're passionate about what they do. They're passionate about growing the sport, about making a good impression, because we're always being scrutinized by legislation, whatever, regardless of what country you're from. And you come together to do work on and off the field. That breeds interest by manufacturers in you as something valuable. At the end of the day,
And you guys too. I mean,
yes.
we're not.
No. That's why I said Raptors, Direwolves, Tap. So for those young kids that are out there, just as Bacon and Sidewaze said, it's about focusing on your teammates.
Put your head down, have fun, play the game, be honorable, and
You got to do your thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and everything can't focus or revolve around the sponsorship. Like I mentioned, Blackline. I'm playing that event in 2 weeks, and that's a huge part of the event is covert surveillance within a city here in Toronto, and trying to build and plan an assault on a location that we don't know to begin with. There's nothing I can do in that event that is going to really generate any social media for me in terms of sponsorship value or whatever. But I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it,
Yep.
right? And I think if I'd reached the point where everything had to be done just for content, then this wouldn't be fun anymore, right? And that would be the wrong direction.
No, it wouldn't. Yeah, always work. It's like, everybody's playing and I'm sitting here posing.
Second unpaid job you would be having because you're not going to get paid for it. All you're going to do is pull your hair out, trying, what's my next post going to be? I got to make this, amazing. And it's like,
It's the same thing when we started going to Toronto Tactical
Yep.
Action Combat, Close Combat College, TTAC C3. They were doing, I mentioned them earlier, they do, very serious CQB scenario nights, like concealed carry, terror situations in the
Yep.
subways, those kind of simulations. And we don't do anything to generate social media or anything to do with
we'll grab a
sponsorship.
few pics of each other, just, but
we
like,
go just
not-
because it's fun.
it's
It's what
fun,
we want to
yeah.
do, right?
it's awesome time. It's a nice, 4 hours out and just enjoy and
Focus on the game.
focus on the game. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Real quick before we
I'm going to cut that finger off.
part ways
I'm
here.
going to cut that.
If,
you point that at me more times, I'll cut it off.
We're just yelling at the director. So Bacon and Sidewaze, very clearly tell everyone your Instagram handles so people can follow you or DM you and ask more questions.
Sidewaze, it's SIDEWAZE_DW07.
And my personal one is Bacon_DW01. And then I run the team account, which is Direwolves_Airsoft Team.
Well, thank you so much, guys. It was great having you on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, guys.
And thank you, all of you out there watching, and your comments. We love it. Please share, like the video, share it, please. We need all the shares we can get. And we'll see you next week.
And we'll play Where in the World is Valken Actual. But
So we do have another special guest next week, but tune in next week to see who that is. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to share, like the video, and we'll catch you guys later.